Your heart works every second of every day. Shouldn't your supplements work just as hard? Introducing 3 powerhouse cardio support products from Protocol for Life Balance. Nattokinase, drawn from a centuries-old Japanese tradition. This remarkable enzyme helps maintain healthy blood flow and normal blood fluidity. Circulation you can count on naturally. Next, ubiquinol. This is the active form of CoQ10 your body actually uses, fueling cellular energy production, neutralizing harmful free radicals, and delivering superior absorption. And finally, Clinical Cardio 6. 6 powerful nutrients, 1 capsule, including L-carnitine to energize your heart, hawthorn, and Mega Natural BP grapeseed extract for healthy blood pressure, and MK7 to keep your arteries flexible. Comprehensive cardiovascular support, all in one. Protocol for Life Balance, science-based professional-grade products using ingredients backed by strong research. To order, go to drhoffman.com/protocol for life balance. That's drhoffman.com/protocol for life balance. Protocol for Life Balance is an A-rated GMP manufacturer of premium dietary supplements. We'll go back to today's Intelligent Medicine podcast. It's our weekly Q&A with Leyla, and that's where we answer your questions. You can send questions and or comments to questions@drhoffman.net. So let's hear our next question.
Okay, this comes from Rick. Rick writes, during bad weather, instead of going for an evening walk, I started climbing the 19 steps from the lobby to the second landing. I do it 12 times up and down, 2 or 3 sets a night. Even now, do you think this is worthwhile?
When I first heard that question, because we did a little preliminary before the show, I thought it was 19 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
Which I could easily envision because I live on the 21st floor here in Manhattan. And I think the only time I ever did that was remember that power failure that we had years ago?
Yeah.
And I had to walk up the stairs. And so walking upstairs is a really good exercise, and it gets your heart rate up, and is also a good exercise for your glutes, which are often ignored. And so it is actually a supercharged form of walking. So I heartily recommend it. And I'm glad that you reserve it for when the weather is bad, because I would say that it's a little bit of a grim routine when it's beautiful outside, because it's often better to simply get outside.
Sure.
And, get a little fresh air and sunshine, and, do a little people watching, maybe have a little social interaction in the real world.
Absolutely.
But, look, I was just thinking about this. I'm a big believer in hard things, like,
they're rewarding.
I never dreamed of doing a triathlon. I thought it was nuts. And then at the age of 38, I decided, I can bicycle and I can swim and I can run. So let me do this event. And then, the rest is history. I've been doing it ever since. And, I'm in the pool and it's like, I'm a little tired. And it's like, keep going, because it feels a little aversive, but push through it as long as you're not doing yourself harm. If like, I really feel.
Don't drown.
Don't drown. Don't die. Don't develop a rotator cuff
injury.
Do
it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Lift weights, but don't, develop, muscle tear or,
don't lift the heaviest weight your first day of weightlifting.
Yeah. But hard things, I think doing hard things is important. Another hard thing that I like to do is I spend a lot of time now in a sauna, and I push my limits of endurance in the sauna, and that's a stress to the body, but it is what is called a eustress, or there's the Mithridates effect. It's like a little dose of whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yes,
that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a healthy stress so that your body can challenge up. So right. So it's that kind of a thing. And, walking up the stairs is great, and walking down the stairs, being eccentric, as I wrote about recently, because that's still beneficial too. So, and he's doing both. He's walking up and down, up and down, up and down. Rick, that's great.
Okay. So, next will be the Empire State Building race. The people race up to the top of the Empire State Building.
No, I know somebody who did that. Oh my God.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah. All right. We've got a question from Mary. I had to get a recent x-ray.
The word that eluded me is hormesis.
Hormesis, yes.
Hormesis, which is a stress that, feels aversive, but you conquer it, you feel better, and it actually strengthens your body and strengthens your resilience.
Yeah. It's like the apple with the bruise. That apple's going to make a few more antioxidants to deal with that bruise that it's got. Kind of thing. Yeah. So we challenge up. Anyway, so Mary writes, I had to get a recent x-ray and I read this notice that the FDA no longer requires a radiation shield. You know, those lead aprons?
Yes.
And I just wondered if you could share your thoughts on the matter. Thank you as always, Dr. Hoffman. And Mary sent us the actual thing that she read.
What does it say? Give us an excerpt. Right.
Yeah. In 2019, the FDA recommended ending the use of patient shields to cover up reproductive organs and unborn babies during diagnostic x-rays because the research shows that radiation levels used in modern x-ray exams pose no risk to the reproductive system. But then the question is, why do people on my care team wear an apron, but I do not?
Yeah, well, this is the other thing is, they say it's fine, and then they scurry behind this leaded glass window to do your x-rays. So what's up with that?
Yeah. Well, they say wearing a lead apron protects staff from any unnecessary x-ray scatter radiation from your diagnostic exam. So
it's going to scatter to them, but not you. Well, you could make the argument a couple of ways. One is that newer x-rays are different than older x-rays. Newer x-rays are more focused.
Yes.
I think the word is they're collimated, which means that they are more pinpoint and targeted, and there's less scatter. So it's more like a focused laser beam than a, shall we say, a searchlight or a flashlight with a lot of diffusion. So that may be now the reason why there's less concern about if you're getting, say, dental x-rays, that you have to wear something over your breasts or over your genitals, that kind of thing. Yeah, the thyroid. I mean, I think there's actually studies that show that, for example, in the old days, one of the novel treatments for acne used to be radiation treatment.
Yes.
Well, years later, people developing skin cancer, but they're also developing thyroid cancer because thyroid's pretty close to the face. That was not a good idea. But that's diffuse radiation, old-fashioned radiation, and diagnostic radiation is different. Yeah. So, there's reason sometimes to distrust government suggestions that nothing to see here, folks, no problem. Yeah. But, I think that this is now pretty well scientifically established. The other point to be made is that the x-ray techs are doing thousands of x-rays every year. And you're doing, maybe one x-ray here and there, for your, annual dental appointment. And they're just taking a lot of pictures cumulatively. So it's kind of like the exposure that airline personnel have, pilots and flight attendants have, when they're above a certain protective layer in the atmosphere, and they get more exposure. Now, you as a passenger, unless you're in the, multi-zillion mile club, you are not as likely to have problems, but they statistically have a higher risk of certain cancers.
True.
Okay. Yeah. Small double-digit increase, not triple, quadruple, but, but that it is statistically shown, but that's because they are getting cumulative exposure.
Yes.
That's also the reason why reactor personnel wear badges, and the badges register their exposure, but it's usually not one exposure. It's like, okay, you've reached your, annual budget for exposure. And so we're going to take you offline. We're going to put you in the administrative building instead of near the reactor core. Yeah. And, So it's the dose makes the poison, shall we say?
Yes. Yes. All right. So, yeah, Mary, they are much lower in radiation. There's another question here that's answered.
And they use they use less radiation to create an image. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Could radiation to my reproductive organs cause infertility? No, the amount of radiation you get from an X-ray is much less than the amount of radiation needed to cause infertility. The amount of radiation required to cause infertility is more than 100 times the dose you get from a medical imaging exam. Would you say the same goes for CT? Isn't that the most radiation?
Well, so let's explain,
Not just
the
the regular
physics behind
X-ray.
the CT exam. An X-ray is in 2 dimensions. It's like one picture. A CT scan is a lot of X-rays that are computer merged to create a 3-dimensional image of your brain or your thorax or your abdomen, depending on which part of the body you're looking at. And so the risk from that is higher, much higher with CT scans.
Okay.
So that's why it is not, I mean, what ends up happening these days because of liability, a kid falls off the jungle gym and bangs their head and they got like a bump on their head. It's like immediately go get a CT scan. Well, for the developing brain, maybe that's not such a good idea, especially for kids who fall off the jungle gym a lot, and there's there's some Evel Knievel kinds of kids. And maybe and there actually are studies that show that a lifetime exposure to lots of CT scans, again, like the flight attendants and the pilots, increases your risk of certain cancers by a significant percentage. Again, not, many times, but double digits.
Yeah. Well, so Mary.
So in other words, there's got to be a rationale for getting strong rationale for getting these tests.
True. Absolutely. I think now is a good time to hear from one of our sponsors.
Great.
Dr.
Thank you for reminding me. Okay. So for our listening audience, here's a message from one of our sponsors. Here goes. Listen up.
Kids don't just bring home homework, they bring home germs. And those germs don't just stay with them, they spread to the whole household. That's why Clear Nasal Spray was created by a practicing physician to give parents and grandparents peace of mind. You may not think about it, but your nose is filtering out a semi-truck full of air every single day. Clear isn't just another spray. It creates an additional layer of protection in your nose that blocks bacteria and viruses before they can even take hold. Yes, even that virus. Supporting your body's defenses right where germs first try to enter. Clear is a hygiene product recommended for daily use, drug-free, non-drowsy, and safe for all ages. Just a quick spray in the morning and evening helps you cleanse your nose. Don't just hope for protection, create it. Get Clear Nasal Spray, your daily defense. Clear Nasal Spray is available at retailers nationwide and online. Check out Xlear.com for our special offers. That's Xlear.com.
Thanks for listening, and thanks for supporting our sponsors. They are what make intelligent medicine click, because through their generous underwriting, it is a free resource to you. So let's get back to questions. Once again, questions come to questions@drhoffman.net.
Okay. We've got an email from Rupert. Hi, Dr. Hoffman and Leyla. For the last 6 months, I've had a queasy stomach feeling. I've been controlling my diabetes very well, always keeping my fasting glucose below 100. However, for the past 2 weeks, my fasting blood sugar has been between 111 and 125. Needless to say, I'm very frustrated. I also lack energy. Just wondering what your thoughts are with this problem.
Well, in a diabetic, and presumably this person is a bit diabetic, but is controlling it well with lifestyle.
Yes.
There is a tendency for, if you are run down for any reason, it could be sleep, it could be an infection, like maybe some underlying infection, like it's like a mild virus that's not, almost below your awareness, but you're feeling a little tired. Or it could even be a hidden dental infection. It could be a sinus infection. Or it could be a hormonal change. It could be that suddenly your testosterone is dipping, or your thyroid is not being properly regulated.
Yeah.
Or it could just be an age spurt. People have age spurts, and they suddenly, instead of just smoothly, declining, they kind of hit a speed bump. And then it becomes harder to control their blood sugar through all the lifestyle measures, supplements, even medication.
But this has been going on for 2 weeks. It's a queasy feeling. His blood sugar is up. The first place I think of is, Dr. Hupp, what you said, an infection or something.
Yeah.
A passing virus or something like that. Ride it out. If you still feel this way in another 2 weeks, maybe it's something to investigate. But beyond that, because that would drive up blood sugar, absolutely.
Sure.
And lack of energy, not feeling too well, that will certainly also do that.
So, an example of which is COVID in a diabetic. I think a lot of the deaths in COVID were due to decompensation of people who were okay, but then when they were stressed with a viral infection, they had a metabolic decompensation, and they started going down that slippery slope towards all kinds of, diabetic ketoacidosis and, the whole downhill slope that you can get when you have serious out of control diabetes. But we would always see that, as a well-controlled diabetic, they get sick and the blood sugar spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rupert, there you go. Hang in there, but if you are concerned, check in with your doctor. Certainly. Thank you for that email. Okay. Well, we've got one from Bob. I'm an 88-year-old male, and I was taking 6 120 milligram magnesium taurate a day to try to control palpitations or skipped heartbeats. It worked for many years, but lately it started up again daily, mostly at the end of the day. I tried increasing it up to 8, but that caused other problems and didn't help. Let me guess, it probably caused some diarrhea.
You reach a threshold where the magnesium is a laxative.
Yeah. I download mostly all the podcasts, and I heard the one with Dr. Dean about Remag. So I ordered a bottle, and I put a half teaspoon.
By the way, that's her proprietary form. I think it's a magnesium chloride formulation that is said to be more bioavailable. I can't necessarily recommend it, but she is kind of considered an authority on magnesium. And so what did he?
He said, I put a half teaspoon in one bottle, which is a half a liter of water, and I drink 2 bottles a day. And I cut back the magnesium taurate to half the dose. And the heart rate is nice and steady. I have a resting heart rate of 41. And during exercise, it's 120.
Yeah. Well, here's a bit of a problem is why you get skipped heartbeats is because when your heart rate gets too low, it creates an alarm, and your sinoatrial node, which generates electrical impulses to cause your heart to beat, sends impulses to like, hey, hurry up.
Yeah.
And so that is kind of a low heart rate. I mean, I have a pretty low athletic resting heart rate that is sometimes in the 40s, but if it gets too low, you can have skip beats, and that could be a prelude to atrial fibrillation. It's sometimes referred to as sick sinus syndrome. The heart rate goes too low, and then there's skip beats, and then it can also go into atrial fibrillation or sinus tachycardia.
Yeah. So is this very low heart rate called bradycardia or something?
Exactly, bradycardia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look, it's a one-off. It's anecdotal, and I think it's kind of interesting. Why I like magnesium taurate is because magnesium, and you have to take fairly high doses because it doesn't deliver, each pill doesn't deliver that much elemental magnesium, because the taurate weighs more than the magnesium. So a 500 milligram capsule of magnesium taurate is less potent than a 500 milligram capsule of magnesium glycinate.
Yeah.
Or, certainly more potent, magnesium oxide is more potent, but it's poorly absorbed. It's a waste of time.
Very poorly absorbed. Yeah.
It's a good laxative. But.
Mm-hmm.
So, the taurate actually is said to have some antiarrhythmic effects on the heart.
Yeah.
So
good for blood pressure. Yeah.
Taurine, that amino acid. So you're getting the dual benefit of magnesium and taurine. So for heart-related problems, kind of like magnesium taurate, but the magnesium may be the business end of it. And if this product, the Remag, is a better delivery system for you,
Yeah. And taurine also, I think, has a slightly dehydrating effect, which is helpful for those with like high blood pressure, taking this form of magnesium as opposed to
You mean a diuretic effect?
A diuretic effect.
Okay.
What did I say?
You said dehydrating?
Dehydrating. Yeah. Like
you don't want to get,
we don't want dehydration.
Yeah, right. So
we want a diuretic effect.
Right.
Yeah. Bob, thank you for that. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we've got a comment here from Ryan who listened to the weekend show.
Okay.
About PEDs, performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah, I was talking about the enhanced Olympics. Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Hoffman. I'm a longtime listener. I really value your content, including your Q&A with Leyla. Thank you, Ryan. Interviews with leading physicians and researchers, as well as featured stories on your weekend show. I'm also a follower of baseball, basketball, and as a San Francisco Giants fan, I just wish you would not mention Barry Bonds with asterisks associated with his records. I'm kind of thinking you may have meant Sammy Sosa. Both Sosa and Mark McGwire have either tested as positive for PEDs or outright admitted in a congressional hearing to have used these. While Barry Bonds has long since been suspected of PED use, he has not tested positive or admitted use. Maybe I'm just a bit sensitive to the Bonds exclusion from the Hall of Fame, but largely or entirely due to the opinion of baseball writers.
Okay, so what I was writing about, if listeners didn't listen to the show, is they had this enhanced Olympics where it was kind of a gimmick, and they were going to offer a bounty of $1 million to any athlete who could break a world record with a no-holds-barred use of performance-enhancing drugs. So they could use steroids, testosterone, growth hormone, you name it, peptides, anything, amphetamines, who knows, what they could use.
Yeah.
And it was a flop because there was only one record was broken, and it was barely broken. And the guy who was like the biggest braggart about how he was going to break a record came in fourth in a swim event. And you could see he looked like totally shredded and sculpted. But in terms of performance, it didn't aid his performance compared to clean swimmers. And so this is kind of interesting because, we tend to think of that's cheating and, the records that were set by people who now are known to have used drugs, there's always an asterisk by them. And in baseball, there was a famous scandal and, A-Rod was involved, Alex Rodriguez was involved famously, and Sammy Sosa was involved, and Barry Bonds was involved. And hey, the one home run slugger who wasn't involved, well, Aaron Judge wasn't involved, and he didn't break the record, but he had an enormous number of home runs, was Hank Aaron. It's kind of like the last of the clean home run hitters. And in fact, I just did a little search here. Barry Bonds, in fact, was linked to the use of several performance-enhancing drugs, including anabolic steroids and human growth hormone. So I'm sorry if I'm, I think it's a little tongue-in-cheek. Is like, don't impugn my idol. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, and Barry Bonds was a famous San Francisco Giants player. And sorry, but the facts remain. But here's why it's controversial. He never tested positive performance-enhancing drugs in official Major League Baseball testing, and he consistently maintained that he was unknowingly taking the substances, believing them to be a nutritional supplement. Okay, which is like, it's often the excuse is like, I took this vitamin and it was contaminated with something, and it was not my intent, but I tested positive, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
So I guess he has kind of a half an asterisk because he was strongly linked, but was never conclusively proven, and he never fessed up to using this stuff. But you know, sometimes you just see some of these athletes, and it's like, it's one thing to put on weight, but you know, if your hat size increases, you know, there's no exercise that increases your bone structure in your head except for human growth hormone.
Okay.
You know,
Wow.
And there's this, you know, it kind of stretches credulity that these guys didn't know what was going on. So, you know, look, I could take performance enhancing drugs to the max, and I would never be able to hit, you know, a 75 mile per hour breaking ball or, you know, change up.
That's just amazing.
It just that feat of athletics is extraordinary. There's a very, 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 very tiny fraction of humans who are capable of doing that. So, you know, there are other things that I can, you know, I can get on a you know, on a triathlon field, and you know, in spite of the fact that the winner may you know, be twice as fast as me, I can still run the course. But there are some sports where it doesn't matter what performance enhancing drug you have. If you don't have the skill, you don't have the strength, you don't have the genetics, you know, you can't do it.
Yeah. Ryan, thank you very much for that comment. And a reminder to everybody, questions at drhoffman.net is the place where you can email us with questions, with comments, or anything else. Like we had that question on C. diff where he asked, can you talk about it? And we did. And don't forget that you can shop hundreds of curated vetted supplements in Dr. Hoffman's full script dispensary. Go to drhoffmanstore.com. Through Full Script, you can access his custom protocols that combine products that he recommends to help you achieve your specific health goals. Begin with the starter kit, then you can expand. Maybe you need something for allergies, maybe for bone health or brain health, detox. Maybe you need some help with sleep and stress support.
And soon, we're actually going to create a new hub for GLP-1 users. Because I think GLP-1 users require specific support. And so that's coming. And, you know, it's not like to substitute, like, oh, these are the drugs that are going to miraculously melt away 24% of your body weight. I mean, these supplements. But if you're taking the GLP-1 drugs, I think you and I would agree that supplementation is in order because you have reduced appetite and you have certain other requirements that need to be met, like, you know, additional protein and additional, you know, perhaps B vitamins. So that's going to be in addition to the hub at Full Script with recommendations of supplements to take. And I'm pleased to see that a lot of you are taking advantage of Full Script because it is, frankly, it's a free fire zone out there, and you can find amazing deals on Amazon. But caveat emptor, buyer beware, because there's a lot of counterfeit products out there, poor quality control. They do not have a quality control capability there. If stuff is going to poison people outright, they'll take it off of Amazon, but they cannot keep track of the flood of poor quality products, counterfeit products, adulterated products that don't meet the label
products
claim.
That came out of a dumpster because people dumpster dive and then sell it.
That too. I mean, there is such an enormous amount of shoplifting at health food stores.
Oh my goodness.
That it's a prime item because what item can you steal that is like so small that you can grasp it in your hand that costs like $35 or $40?
Yeah.
That's a prime. So they're organized gangs that target stealing vitamins and supplements. And then they have these shadow websites where they sell it. And it's like, oh my God, like I can't believe the price on this fish oil. It's a major brand and they're just killing it on the price. How are they doing it? Well, it's a criminal enterprise.
When it's too good to be true, it is. It is too good to be true. So you don't want to trust that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and just to note, some of the products that we advertise on this program, they may or may be on full script, great, or not. If they're not on full script, we recommend that you go direct to the manufacturer, because there's some manufacturers who prefer to sell direct to customers. And so not everything has to be necessarily on full script if we talk about it in this program, but the majority of things we talk about in this program are available via full script.
Yes.
And so, look there, and if you can't find it elsewhere, you can and take advantage of some of the discount offers that we have.
Yes.
Where, using code, whatever, Hoffman 20 or Hoffman or whatever we tell you, you can avail yourself of the discount by buying direct.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you for everybody. Thanks, Dr. Hoffman. Until next week.
Questions and comments, come to questions@drhoffman.net. Thanks, Leyla. Until next week. I'm Dr. Ronald Hoffman, and this is the Intelligent Medicine Podcast. I want to thank you for listening to the Intelligent Medicine Podcast. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or your favorite podcast app, and get new episodes automatically downloaded every weekday. And please give us a rating and review. It truly helps new people discover intelligent medicine. The Intelligent Medicine Podcast is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute the practice of medicine, nursing, or other professional healthcare services, including the giving of medical advice, and no doctor-patient relationship is formed. The use of information on this podcast or materials linked from this podcast is at the user's own risk. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice for any medical condition they may have, and should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions. Finally, please visit drhoffman.com and discover everything intelligent medicine has to offer, including frequently updated, unbiased health news and fully vetted product and supplement recommendations.
This is Leyla Muden, registered dietitian nutritionist. I maintain a private practice and see patients regularly. If you require a nutrition consult with me but live out of town, there's no need to travel to New York City. I have telephone and telehealth consultations with clients from all over the country. Please visit drhoffman.com for more information. And to set up an appointment, call 212-779-1744. That's 212-779-1744. I look forward to being a collaborator in your healthcare.